His eyes were like sandbags pulling down a great weight. He could barely keep them open. He pushed ajar the natural red-orange door that led to the entrance of his house. Like before, it was quiet, but there to greet him with warm and loving arms was his wife. She was his angel, his rock, his fire, and his water. For the last 225 years she was his life, and he knew she would be his life for 225 more. With her they had had 3 children, Uriel, Eri, and Lagertha, all of whom had become people in high standing throughout the world. From a world-renowned scientist to world-renowned leaders, he was proud of each of them and couldn't imagine anyone else whom he would have had these amazing children with. Her tender arms embraced his body, but her tight grip was more than just a touch of affection. It was something deeper. It was not the embrace of a wild fire, but one of steady embers burning brightly and passionately until the very end, where there was nothing left but the cool, dark grip of death. She did not say a word to him, but instead waited for Enoch to talk.
The world will one day soon be a place of fallen men, where lives once loved and cherished will be lost to the sands of time. Our vote today may very well be the start of horrors yet to come. Like broken glass upon the ground, so too the families of the world will be. Lightning in the sky we will make, and we will paint our oceans red. Is this the life we'll have to see? What, Heiliger, do you counsel me?
Enoch. She ran her fingers through his thick grey hair.
I know you have already made your choice, but I will give you words of comfort. There are great men in this world, men who can achieve the unimaginable. Men who are selfless and will fight for just the smallest of lights to flicker in a never-ending desert of Caliginus. These men will show their face to the world. They will be the lanterns across the open plains and beams of light waving in the rocky sea. They will be like the fire on the mountain and the candle in the tenebrous desert. Know that your choice will bring these men to the world, and in the end we will be better for it.
Enoch kissed her hands that were without imperfection.
Now go get some rest. You look exhausted.
Thank you, Heiliger, he said with bloodshot eyes, still holding her hands in his. His mind sharply thought of his daughter Eri, realizing he had missed her.
Where is our daughter? I haven't seen her in 2 days, he asked.
She's gone out with some friends. She'll be home later tonight, Heiliger told him. Now, scurry off to bed. In a few hours, you will have to be one of those men who light the world in truth.
The lantern is mighty heavy. You may need to help me carry it, he said to her with a slight grin about his face.
If you should ever falter, I will be there to help lift you back up. Now go and sleep already. Enoch stripped himself of his robe and cast his clothes aside, and finally laid his head on the soft white feathers of his pillow. The electric bolts fell silent within the storm that was his mind, as the rain fell and cleared the way to consciousness. Tick, tick, tick was the call of the second hand as it moved the minute, which moved the hour, and the hour the day, and the day the night. Enoch, Enoch, Enoch was the utter in his ear. The lids of his eyes exposed the iris, but it saw no form to the words that summoned him. A dream, he thought, of what he did not know. He inhaled deeply and could smell the sweet scents of honey and cinnamon, and knew that his wife was making him breakfast, though the hour was late. Enoch quickly washed and readied himself once more to resume his meeting with the ministers. He walked into the kitchen, and much to his delight, it was Eri who had been making him his morning meal. Her hair was like her mother's, radiant as the sun, with a smile just as bright, her skin pale and pure, and eyes an icy white, a heart of felicity and a mind astute, the soul of innocence, a beauty, cute, with a nectarous voice that heeded your gaze. a talent of tongue more complex than a maze.
"Hello, Papa," she said with a smile that showed the dimples on her cheeks. "My ear, it smells amazing in here. Is that the candle Holle that strikes my nose?"
Enoch asked, knowing the answer.
"Just for you, Papa. Mamma prepared everything else."
The letter to every word she spoke was sugared as it left her mouth.
"But I must get to bed. I love you, Papa."
She kissed her father's cheek and skipped down the hall to her bedchamber.
"Good night,"
she yelled as she closed the door to her room.
"Good night, dearie,"
Enoch hollered back. He turned to his wife.
"Thanks for this Heiliger,"
he said. "If we didn't make you anything, you would have left without eating," she said, knowing his manners.
"How long do you think you will be tonight?"
she asked.
"Not terribly long. Once the meeting resumes, we will have 30 minutes to cast our vote. I'm sure many will leave after they have heard the results. I'll stay for a while to note how we'll proceed should legislation pass, and I should be back before the sun rises. Maybe this time you'll have breakfast waiting for you when you wake in the morning."
"I'd like that. I'll see you in the morning then. I'm off to bed as well." She kissed his lips and strolled off to rest her eyes. Enoch finished his meal, stuffing a muffin lathered in candle Holle in his mouth, and visated back to the ministry. As he arrived, he noticed the clouds above starting to build higher in the sky, and their colours turning grey and ominous as the wind began to quicken its pace, sending loose flowers tumbling skyward, painting pictures in the open air. He entered the hall, and buzzing about were a cacophony of murmurs, restless men and women anxious for the fate that awaited them. Some had already cast their vote, while others were waiting to the bitter end, still unsure of what to do. Like sand in an hourglass, the minutes fell quickly, and the votes were tallied. Enoch slammed the stone with authority and vigour. All eyes rested upon his face, waiting for the words of destiny.
"All votes have been made, and today, Mutashio 3rd, 2063, Landavengler will halt all trade, with the country of Holle thus breaking its treaty signed on Pregatio 30, 2046. I thank you all for deliberating, counselling and voting on such an issue. This meeting is now adjourned and will be noted in the archives. Thank you."
Enoch ceased his speech, but the jeering of the opposition continued.
"This is war!"
one man shouted.
"It's economic suicide!"
Another decried as others heckled in the background, which sounded like a constant humming from a broken radio. Enoch sat there and listened to them as they quarrelled with heavy emotion.
"I know, I struggle just as much as you on the choice we made tonight,"
he wanted to tell them, but he kept his tongue behind the curtain of his teeth. His mind continued to speak words that did not leave his lips.
"If a man does not act in the presence of danger, does he not himself become danger?"
Enoch knew that no spoken word from him would convince his disputants to see the path he saw. He sat there a while longer, listening to the chorus of antagonism. Then he rose from his seat and exited the room. Some followed him down the smooth, stone-floored halls, spitting words of reproach at him, but Enoch remained silent as his colleagues berated him. He reached his office arch, turned to his peers and spoke.
"You have nothing yet to fear, for the world will note your candour on this day, and history will show its role."
He said nothing more to them, stepped inside the archway of his office, rubbed his hand over the orb sitting within the wall to the right of the arch, sealing the entryway with waves of light.